Welcome again to the Rick Helps Real Estate Show, the Traveling Road Show edition. I'm still up in the Pacific Northwest. It's going to be a balmy 53 degree, or it's 53 degrees now, and it's going to be a balmy 59 when I get rocking and rolling. Hello, Keenan. You're not missing anything when it comes to the weather. When I got here, it was 84. What the heck? So we had my class reunion on Saturday night. We had an event Friday night, one Saturday night. And Saturday night was in a great big tent outside. Now, my job, I called myself the lead agitator. My job was to get everybody to show up. So I built the website, I did the emails, did some robocalls. Other than that, I delegated everything out, the food, the venue, the decorating. But it was so funny because people were walking up to me and going, I hear it was your decision to have us outside here in the tent because it was cold. They didn't put any patio heaters in there. I just said, well, no, that would be wrong. So, if you're the guy that's, don't shoot the messenger, I guess was what I was trying to say. But it was still a lot of fun. We managed to plow through and have a great time. Good time to be had by all. Now I'm looking at the real estate numbers, both nationally and in Arizona. And this is going to be a whole lot of nothing this week while we wait for the PCE numbers to come out on Friday. And that may move the market, it may not. But the thing that's really making the market move and stall in certain segments is this debt ceiling and chatter by people in the Federal Reserve. So you can find pretty much whatever you want in the reserve chatter. One gentleman said this morning, I don't think we're going to go up in June. There's no reason for it. We can certainly stall. But the others have been publicly telling the bond traders, don't count on us stalling or turning around and going down. In fact, we still think there's reasons to go up. And it's a game of chicken between the central banks and the traders. And we'll see who blinks. And right now, the Fed didn't blink. We're at 6.90 this morning. And that's considerably higher. And that is starting to make things slow down just a bit. Not a bunch, but enough. If you look here at the average sales price per square foot, now keep in mind that's a lagging number because these have to record, right? So if there's a sales number here, that means it went under contract probably right about here, and it's flattening. So the sales number, sales prices, average sales prices climbing since January. Now it's kind of leveling out. We're seeing on the active listings again, we're seeing them continue to come down. You can see on the ticker below, we're actually at 12,226. When I look at my 7-day moving average, let me see if I can pull this up for you here. I'm seeing some changes, although subtle. We really came down with contracts in the month of May. That's the red line there, and it shouldn't. I don't know why that little mouse is bouncing around like that, but kind of started to come up a little bit this morning, maybe by about 100 homes. So the gap between the number of new contracts and number of new listings is widening. It's about 454. It's still about 87%. We didn't see prices start to turn until we got to around 57%. Sean here says for active listings, looks like the rate of decline is slowing. It is. Everything's kind of slowing right now, Sean. It's that's why I call this a little bit of a holding pattern. If you were out there looking last week and rates kind of went up, you're probably calling your agent going, let's wait a little bit. I want to see what's going on here. I certainly don't want to lock in at a 6.90 rate, especially if it looks like it's trending higher. So let's take a couple of weeks off from home searching, see what's going on. The people that are out there looking right now are people that may have spotted an opportunity, or they have to move, or they're trying to move before school starts again. So there's a lot of different reasons. The other thing that's flattening out too, Sean, you might find this interesting, is average list price per square foot. It's been going up, up, up. And then this week it just kind of went sideways. And we are up to week 20 of the year 2022, up to last year. Remember, we had this big decline here as rates went up. Ironically, rates went up to about where they are right now, right here. And so everybody put their homes on the market thinking, I got to get that price while I can. Well, that's why list prices shot up so much. And they found out quickly here that that party wasn't going to happen. So, but we're not going back to that peak here at the top. So while list prices are coming up right now, starting to flatten out just a little bit. We look again here on sales per month down here, and these are kind of going flat. Now, this is also seasonal. We tend to flatten out, if not decline, at the end of May, June, July, August, September. It's too hot. People tend to back off a little bit. Sales start picking up again in October. You can see that chart after chart, year after year. This year is no different, except we're dealing with much smaller numbers. Sales are extremely low. And so even a 100 home move looks big on the chart. So, you know, if you're only sitting there with 3,000 homes, 3,200 contracts for the week, and then today it's 3,100 contracts, you know, that shows up. So when we're sitting there running about 6,000 or 4,500, you know, it didn't show up that much on the chart, but we're at the lowest level of activity that we've seen in a long, long time. Now, why are prices going up? Well, because inventory is so low. I looked this morning, and if you were out looking for a single family residence and you wanted to find a home between 300,000 and 600,000, there are only 4,900 homes available for you to look at. And that's kind of the bulk of the market right there. That's kind of the sweet spot. So you're not finding a lot. So you think about that. There's 3,000 contracts being written a week, and there's only 4,900 homes in that sweet spot of between 3 and 6. There's going to be a little bit of bidding war going on. And, you know, nobody likes that. Nobody wants to see it, but that's where we're at. The Crawford Market Index is still favoring sellers, and it'll continue to do that unless inventory decides to make a right turn and go up. And then we look here at the actual supply and demand chart, and I'll get out my handy dandy magnifying glass here. And you can see that, well, it worked for just a moment. Let's see. It's playing with me, folks. I don't know what's going on here, but try it one more time. I'll scoot over here and then go over. There we go. So you can see that barely you can see. This thing is, bear with me here. It's all fun being live. I got to scoot this over a little more first, then go in at the magnifying glass. There we go. Kind of. You can see that demand is flattening out. And so it's probably easier to see without this doggone thing. You can see at demand, the red line is starting to flatten out, but supply is still going down. So as you get this gap that grows between supply and demand, that's when you start seeing bidding wars show up again, like you did back here in the middle. See how much demand was up here, supply was down there, versus the opposite, 2008. Here's supply, 58,000 homes. Here's demand, there's none. Prices came down, cratered down. Keenan says, I'm about to take my house off the market temporarily to do some bigger repairs. Need to get the pool deck redone and pool resurfaced. Oh, that's unfortunate. I know that you've had it listed for a while. It's all about price and condition in this market, that's for sure. So hang in there, get her done, Keenan. As we look at this week, I'm kind of hoping that Pat's still coming out with something tonight. I haven't heard from him over the weekend, so he's trying to do a show that comes out on Monday nights, just saying the week ahead. But we were trading in this range, and even the Mortgage News Daily was saying that we were inside of this range where we'd go up to ceiling, down, bump, bump, bump. And then we had a breakout in the treasuries on Thursday and Friday. They just blew through the ceiling. And so rates started to increase. And even today, as we look, it looks like the trend they're saying is minimal. Good morning, Danilla Ice. It's showing here that MBS prices have moved down slightly today. This will likely result in a minimal impact on mortgage rates. They're probably not going to budge at all. But if you're out there waiting and looking to lock, make sure you have a conversation with your lender about what they see and what it's going to be. So when you're waiting for stuff like the debt ceiling, and you know, the debt ceiling is it's spurring a lot of, I don't know, stupid things like Zillow saying, whoa, if we default, which have we defaulted ever? I think in 2011, I think we did maybe for a couple days. Interest rates are going to go to 8.5%. Really? Why would you put that out there? That would do a couple things: either freak people out and they're going to stay home, or they're going to hurry up and buy before rates climb up. But we're not going to default, in my humble opinion. We've raised the debt ceiling 78 times already. So what is a debt ceiling anyway? If you can raise it 78 times, how good is that? And Keenan here says, yeah, it seems like buyers aren't very interested in something with bigger repairs, or they want a much lower price for the home. That's the key, Keenan. You know, if it needs a lot of repairs, it's only got investor interest. People don't want to go in and fix things up. They want to go in and do minimal repairs. But if there's major stuff, they're going to want to break. They're going to want an attractive price. So Sean here says, as a buyer, if you see a house like Keenan's come off the market, then back on, do buyers take that into consideration when they put their next offer in? They do and they don't. If they take it off for improvements and the improvements were made, then it's not going to be an issue. If it was just taken off, some people try to get tricky, take things off so that it shows back up as a new listing, but you're going to have to wait 90 days in order to do that, and then it's going to show up in the new listing. But the history tab will still follow you, and time is never your friend. The longer you're on the market, the harder it is to get your price. So the history tab will show that you were asking $400,000 and now you took it out the market for 91 days. Lo and behold, it's a new listing. But wait, you're still at $400,000. So Sean says, good luck, Keenan. We're all cheering from you from the sidelines here. So that's, but if you're pulling it off and you're fixing things up, you can put it back on. That reminds me of our listing down in Maricopa. It wasn't our listing. It was an open door home we were trying to get. We were trying to get a much lower price. We didn't feel it was worth the $480,000 they were asking. So they temporarily took it off the market to do repairs. And they actually kind of went in and made it worse. They painted. They put down some new flooring. Some of the things they just walked by that just made you shake your head. It needed new roof underlayment. They did some pigeon abatement that quite honestly didn't work. But long story short, when they put it back on, they put it back on for the same price. And so somebody went in and offered them the price. Then they had the inspection and they backed out. So we swooped in like a hawk and said, hey, we'll offer you this. And then after we did the inspection, we said, holy cow. Hey, how about, and I normally don't like doing this, how about we lower the price? I normally just like to say, give us a credit at close of escrow so that we can have the cash to make these repairs. But this buyer wanted a lower price, and lo and behold, we got it. In fact, the appraiser sent me a message on the house this morning and said, the tax records show it went for this price, but the MLS shows this price. Which one's correct? So I had to let him know, yeah, it actually went for $445. When luxury apartments are built, does that usually have a negative impact on nearby houses? No. I mean, if they're right behind you, yes. Nobody likes to live next to apartments. There's just more traffic, etc. But luxury apartments as a whole, I mean, you're certainly seeing a lot of them, and makes you wonder what the ceiling is on luxury apartments. Boy, especially when you get down to Tempe by ASU. I mean, I didn't know that the words luxury and college students could be used in the same sentence. Good morning, Jackie. How are you? But they keep building them. So where are they getting the money to rent these things? Mom and dad, or is it their student loans? Oh, that's dangerous. Keenan says, it seems like repairs have deferred buyers in this market. I get the feeling people would pay more for a home in clean shape versus paying less as something needed repairs. You're exactly right, Keenan. People they want it done. They want it move-in ready. And here's something, and I actually asked a guy once, a younger gentleman looking at the house, and I said, you know what? During the inspection period, and the final walkthrough, everybody wants everything, little tiny marks on the wall, especially new construction. I mean, there's a little tiny ding on the wall, and they put blue tape on there. They want that fixed. And I'm thinking, you're going to put more dings on the wall when you move in than what you're seeing right there. And I asked him why this was, and he goes, well, think about it. We've been renting for years. We are used to a move-in and move-out checklist. When you move in, you cover everything. Well, there was a ding on the wall there. There was a chip here. There was a dent in the refrigerator. And then when you move out, you've got that move out checklist. So going into a new house, people treat that the same way. Now, when you go into a resale home, such as Keenan's, they still kind of have that mentality going, this needs too much work. Why would I pay full retail for this? So they don't want to. They want everything done because it's a lot of people, they move in your price range might attract a first time home buyer that says, I don't even have tools. I can't resurface a pool. I can't afford it. I'm putting all the money I have into this house when it comes to the down payment and the closing costs. I'm going to have to borrow money, but I can't borrow money because now when I buy it, my debt to income ratio is too high. So I'm kind of stuck. And that's how people look at homes that need a lot of repairs. It's like they understand it, but they're going to have to get a real bargain on it before they can bite the bullet. And then you start getting down in that investor price zone where they're going to come in and you're asking $450,000 for it, and they're going to offer you $399,000. So you can get a little burned there. So you got to, if you can afford it when you're in there, you can fix it up and get it done. There is a company called Curbio that's out there that will come in, give you an estimate on all the repairs, fix your house up, get it already soup to nuts, and then you pay them back at close of escrow. For people that don't have the upfront cash to do that, that's not a bad deal. Again, it's called Curbio, Curbio.com. So that's the services out there. And Keenan here again says, true, I need some repairs. I think mostly stuff I can do myself, but then I know most people don't want to take it on their own. They don't. I'm surprised how many people don't even want to paint. And if they do want to paint, they want to bargain. So neutral colors are the way to go. You go beyond that, it's a barrier. It's not a deal killer, but it's a barrier. So they don't want to do that. I also recommend taking down as many pictures as you can, especially family photos, because people feel uncomfortable when they see Uncle Bob on the wall. Like, I'm intruding here. This is terrible. So there's a lot of steps to do to get the home sold. I will be back on the group with Pat and the dynamic duo of Jackie and Ruby. We'll be back on Thursday night at 6. I may be back on again on Tuesday or Wednesday. It's not supposed to get much warmer up here. I think I am seeing like a 70-degree temperature coming up on the weekend. So we'll see what happens. I'm looking forward to going out and doing some butter clam digging with my brother, or as people refer to up here, steamers. It's supposed to be some low tide going on out here. He keeps wanting me to go out fishing out in the straits. And newsflash, I just don't like fishing. It bores me. I don't mind going for a boat ride. I think that's okay. But even standing on the shore, throwing a line, I don't know. I'm just not wired for it. Drove my ex-wife nuts. She loved to fish. And I said, go ahead, fish. I'll watch. Maybe that's why we split up. I don't know. Let's not go there. Hey, everybody, have a great Monday and take on the rest of the week. Take care.